The average sold price of a property across the GTA is down 8% year over year, comparing it from April 2023 to April of 2022. Yet we're hearing all sorts of things and seeing all sorts of things that would indicate a very hot Toronto and GTA real estate market. So what is the truth? What's actually happening? Well, in today's video, as always, I'm going to break down in my monthly Toronto real estate and GTA real estate market report based on the TREBB resale market reports. I'm going to break down what you need to know in terms of the major trends, the major facts, what's actually happening, what's not happening, and everything else in between. As always, let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtor Realty Inc. back with another video for you guys here today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam, a real estate agent working across the GTA and Toronto areas. On this channel, we like to discuss all things Toronto real estate market oriented, market stats, market reports, market trends, buyer advice, seller advice, building reviews, area analysis, tenancy laws, and property tours, and so much more. So if any of this content is enjoyable or informative, a subscription of yours is greatly appreciated, or feel free to get in touch with me with my contact information on the screen and in the description box. You can also find me on my Instagram and TikTok, where I post different types of content not seen on YouTube. Anyways, enough of all that self-promotion. Let's get to the point of today's video, which is the Toronto real estate market report as of April 2023. This is being recorded May 5th of 2023. So we're only a couple of days into May, and we don't obviously have enough data to make any serious conversations about May. Starting out with the average sold price, what I discussed off the top, which is the average sold price across all property types, across all areas, the most general category you can possibly have. Well, as of April 2023, the average sold price was $1,153,000, which indicates a 7.8%, nearly 8% decline on a year-over-year basis, wherein April of 2022, the average sold price was $1,250,000. And this is not surprising whatsoever, and it shouldn't be surprising for you either if you've been following this channel for a long time, because as I was discussing at the time and recently, obviously in retrospect, anytime it's relevant, the market within April of 2022 was crazy, stupendously hot. Now, it wasn't as hot as it was in February and March, the preceding 2 months before April of 2022, but nonetheless, it was still coming off of the peaks that we did see in March and February of 2022. The interest rate hikes had not increased yet, and inventory was very low, money was cheap, and buyer demand was high. So in a lot of ways, it's actually very healthy that we have not yet reached the peaks of last year, at least with regards to April, or really with regards to any month. But does this mean the Toronto real estate market is cool right now? Well, not so fast, because on a month-over-month basis, and due to very obvious reasons that we'll explain, the market is up. And not only is it up for this category, but it is up 4%. That's right, because when we compare April 2023, no longer to April of 2022, but to March of 2023, we see a 4% increase in sold prices, going from $1,108,000 to now, obviously, as we have $1,153,000. Now, keep in mind, once again, this is the most general stat we can have, and it's not broken down by property type or area. This accounts for anything from Mississauga to Durham to King City to downtown Toronto. And in the last 3 months, the market has been on a upswing, and this is very seasonal in nature. Why has this been happening? Well, I've been discussing this in my previous videos, so I'm sorry if this is repeat information for a lot of people, but in summary, the Bank of Canada in the last 2 meetings have messaged and continued to convey a conditional pause. What does that mean? Well, in the last 2 interest rate meetings, they have not increased interest rates because they see the CPI cooling to a considerable degree and sufficient degree for them. When they have messaged that they're not increasing rates and have not done so for the last 2 meetings, going into a seasonally hot market that is seeing incredibly low inventory and exceeding buyer demand, well, of course, this is all a recipe for a resurging market, at least resurging compared to Q3 and Q4 of 2022. And here on this chart that I have, we really do see on a month-to-month basis how the market was acting when we were looking at month-over-month change, with the interest rates coming in and the panic coming in, and overall more supply than there was demand, to the point in time now that it's the converse. Interest rates have stopped and demand exceeds supply. But we see for the most most part, a declining and significantly correcting market from March of 2022 to July of 2022, and from July of 2022 to really January of 2023, the market was somewhat holding water. But now let's break it down by property types and by area. When broken down by property types and areas, we can similarly see a decrease in average sold prices, whether we're looking at condos in the 416 or semis in the 905, or combined for both across all areas. Detached and condos are down around 8% year over year. Semis are down nearly 10% year over year. And townhomes have actually held up the best, being down only around 3.2% year over year. This is for all areas once again, and then broken down by area. Detached, semis, and condos are down around 7.6 to 7.7% for the 905, while townhomes, once again outpacing the others, only down 3% in the 905. And going into the 416, once again, townhomes only down 3% overall year over year, while semis have struggled the most, representing a 11% decline in average sold prices year over year in the 416, the proper city of Toronto, while once again, detached and condos are down around 8% year over year. So clearly, when broken down by property type and by area, sold prices are down year over year, as we discussed in the most general category. No surprise here. However, similarly so, when we break it down on a month over month basis, all of these property types are up month over month. And not only are they up month over month, but they're up compared to Q4 of 2022 and February of 2023 and January of 2023. And of course, once again, as I said, month over month, so March of 2023. Let's take a look at this chart for detached home prices across all areas. We see on a month over month basis, detached is only slightly up 1.4% in April, where the average price is $1,489,000, and in March it was $1,468,000. That's nothing really crazy whatsoever, but the big leap for detached happened from January to February, where detached homes across the GTA were up nearly 7.3%. And that increase subsided a bit, but continued into March, and as I just covered, into April. And as I explained earlier, one of the main reasons in the whole concoction of why these home prices are up, why the Toronto real estate market is on an upswing despite still being significantly down year over year, is due to record low inventory. And just take a look at this. Total new listings continues to be significantly down year over year. Right now, total new listings is down 38% year over year. That's nearly 40%. Where in April of 2022, when the market was much hotter, there were actually more listings available for sale at 18,000 listings for sale. Now we're only looking at 11,000 new properties that came onto the market for sale in the month of April. Now, this is happily up month over month, because in March of 2023, total new listings was 11,184, but it's up only by 100 or so. It is up so marginally, so that it's not having the impact many home buyers desired it to have. Right now, once again, demand greatly exceeds supply. 11,000 listings, 11,300 listings, as we see on a year over year basis. But when we compare it to the last 3-5 years, is very small for the spring market. Now, once again, this is new listings, not active listings, right? There are more listings than this 11,300 that came onto the market in April. This is just new listings. As always on this channel, you know I love to say that I don't only go based on the numbers, but I also go based on my everyday experience as a real estate agent working with buyers and sellers. And I'm seeing this reflected not only in prices, but the activity we're getting for our listings in recent weeks. In the last few weeks, my listings have been getting a lot of showings and a lot of demand, a lot of foot traffic and interest, and selling very fast for very good prices. And not just because I'm awesome at my job, even though I would love to believe that I'm really good and I'm doing something very good, but the fact that there aren't other competing listings really helps, especially these last few listings I've sold that have had significant wow factors. You'll see in a future video, hopefully very soon, a penthouse unit I sold in Mimico with completely unobstructed water views and downtown Toronto views. I mean, it was a 50th floor plus unit, and when you walked in, all you saw was blue and the downtown Toronto core. And in a low inventory environment, a listing half as good as that is going to sell very well. Imagine how well we were able to sell that listing simply because, once again, it had a wow factor and competition with regards to other people on the market for sale was very low. On the flip side of things, working with buyers right now, and to be very honest, I'm not seriously working with many buyers right now because the market is just way too competitive. They're getting very gun shy. I don't suggest that my end user buyers attempt to time the market. I do foresee the summer market being a little bit cooler and a little bit more favorable with regards to how much inventory there will be and how much competition. So simply put, it's a really good time to be a seller right now, not a good time to be a buyer. Another key trend is obviously total sales. We just covered total new inventory. Let's cover total sales. Well, total sales are down 5.2% year over year, dropping from 7,900 in April of 2022 to 7,531 in April of 2023. Now, a drop in sales can be indicative of a cool market or a hot market. And let me tell you why. Because in part, sales are down year over year because there's simply less inventory. So there's less properties available for sale. And naturally, because there's less properties available for sale, there's going to be less sales happening. Or sales can be indicative of a very cool market, as we had, for instance, in Q3 and Q4 of 2022, where sales relative to the amount of inventory was lower. In this case, sales is more indicative of a low inventory, tightening market conditions environment, as opposed to an environment where supply exceeds demand. And although sales are down year over year, although not significantly so, sales are up month over month, and once again, not significantly so. Because in March of 2023, across the GTA, we saw about 6,896 sales. Right now, once again, in April, we're looking at 7,500. So a noticeable, healthy increase in sales, but nothing out of this world. So let's take a look at the sales to listing ratio, which when we take a look at the seasonally adjusted sales to listing ratio, we see an increase of 23% year over year. This is crazy because, as I said, in February, March, and April of 2022, we saw really the all-time peak of the Toronto and GTA real estate market. And the fact that we have a 23% increase year over year from the last year's peak of market conditions is quite something, because right now we have a 66% sales to listing ratio, where in last April we had a 43% sales to listing ratio. Anyways, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Real Toronto Real Estate Inc. Let me know if you have any further questions in the comments. I'm looking forward. There's a lot more videos coming out. I'm going to do property tours for what I have sold, more market reports, more pre-construction previews, more Toronto condo reviews, and area analysis. I'm very excited. I'm just hoping for the weather to get better so I can actually get out in the field and give you really in-depth market analysis reports for some of the most significant portions of the Toronto real estate market. As always, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.